Hello and welcome to another episode. We are your hosts. I am Sean Calhoun, and this is the lovely
Christina Calhoun.
my wife, Christina. And today we're going to be talking about what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, before we get into that, let's let everybody know how they can get in contact with us if they want to have one of their questions highlighted.
All right, fine. All right, fine. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us directly. Just send us a private message, Sean, Christina Calhoun. That you can do it on Instagram or Facebook pretty easily, or you can go to prettyhm.com and you can search for houses and do all that other good stuff. And we also have some awesome training as well. So if you want to get in on that, definitely reach out to us, send us a private message, and we'll give you a little bit more because we have an event coming up as well. So we'll be releasing the date on those events coming up real shortly as well. And that'll be on the website too. So thanks for the reminder. But anyway, back to business. We got the housekeeping out of the way. What are we talking about today? What do people want to know? This is a question actually that came from one of our agents, Mike Douglas. Big shout out to Mike Douglas. Um, he was just wanting to do a feeler and see, what was our perspective, what was our prospect, what's our thoughts on this. So, what's the big question for today?
So today, the question pertains to when is the best time to suggest to a prospect that they obtain a pre-approval?
Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how that's going to help you if you're an agent to not only win clients as prospects, but to help them have the best chance of succeeding when they put in their offers, when they're trying to become a homeowner. So that's why you're going to want to know this. So stick around to the end because we're going to give you all of that info. Okay. So let's get right into it. So when is the best time um, to let someone know to get a pre-approval? Well, think about it. Someone may be a referral, right? They may have been referred to you, or someone may come in as a lead from the internet. So those are two different types of prospects, okay? And also, let me just throw in there, you may be wanting to become a homeowner yourself. So you might want to know when is the best time to get pre-approved, okay, for a mortgage. And that term pre-approval just means um, the paperwork that's needed that shows that you can buy this home, okay? So that, just going back, that's what that means. And if you're going to buy a home, you're going to need to finance it either with cash, if you're going to buy it cash, or you're going to need to get a mortgage, a lender on it, right? And there are some other ways that we're not covering today, but those are the two main ways. And if you're going to get a loan, you need proof of that. And that proof is called a pre-approval, okay? And that only takes about 15 minutes to get. And if you're going to buy it cash, you also need proof of funds, which is probably like a bank statement or something like that. So I just want to explain those terms because we throw them out loosely. But if you're new to real estate or if not, just want to touch on that.
And it is really important because this shows your buying power. So it lets you know which
Oh,
house
hey.
to check out and which one to pass on. Because
Right.
if you're only approved for a certain amount, you don't want to be looking at a house that's double that.
Yeah. If
It's
you're
just going to
approved for three
disappoint you.
hundred and you're looking at $600,000 homes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent point. So, all right. When do you do it? So let's talk about that. So it depends on what type of where that client is coming from. Okay. So let's talk about referrals first of all. If this client is someone that's been referred to you, hey, I'm calling you, I want to buy a home. So and so said to call you, you are the woman. You are the man, right? If that person is calling, you're going to have a consultation with them, okay? And during that consultation, I mean, this is before you go out and look at homes, you're going to ask questions, okay, to see kind of what their general interests are, what their motivations are, what are their needs, and things like that. So you're going to go through those basics, and then, and this is the easy one, this is what most people know already. And then during that consultation, you're going to see if they have already received a pre approval or not, or if they're financing with cash or with a mortgage. Once they let you know that, then you go back to exactly what Christina mentioned. And that is, okay, we want you to see why you should get pre-approved or why you should show proof of funds. So again, that timing is during the consultation. That's probably the initial conversation that you're having. You want to see where they're at. And even if they do have it, you still want to explain to them why it's so powerful. Unlike my bicep that I was showing a second ago. Why is that pre-approval so powerful? Well, because what Christina said, it shows your buying power. It shows that, hey, I can get this house if I want to. And that's what sellers need to see. That's what you need to show them if it's a home that you want to purchase or you want your client to be able to get.
And something that we're coming across more, especially in this time of COVID, if a property is occupied, they're actually not wanting a lot of people to come through to reduce their risk of exposure. So they're asking for pre-approvals even before they'll let you schedule an appointment.
Yeah, with some properties. That's a really good point. So there are some properties that are that way, and even we've noticed on some high-end homes in Birmingham, Michigan, as well as some other cities. They're saying, hey, and you should be pre-approved before you start looking at homes. Anyway, you should. I kind of use the illustration, and you may know this too. Have you ever been to the store and you got there and there was this one item that you saw and you're like, oh, I love it, I gotta have it, and you forgot your wallet and you can't get it, right? And you go home, you might race back to the store and it is gone. Or you might come back the next day, it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't get it. Now you're searching online, the price is different, like it's gone. It's not the same. That happens, okay? But it happens with real estate as well. And so to set your client up for success, you want to have that pre-approval, and that's what we kind of express to our clients to help them to see that when they go shopping, it's like if you're window shopping, you always find what you want. But when you come with the money, it's a little harder. Why? Because your perspective changes and you're a little more picky.
And the speed of the market right now.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how many times we've been showing a house and the deadline for the offer is that day. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to go send in your information to a lender. You have to put in an offer right then, and you can't put in an offer without pre-approval.
That's right. So let's go to the one that's a little more difficult. That one is easy peasy, right? That was the referral. Now, we're talking about the internet lead. Okay. So you're internet, someone is online, they see a home, and they raise their hand. They say, I'm interested in this home. Can you give me more information about that home? Now, whether they call you or you pick up the phone and call them, text or email, when you get in contact, they more than likely are going to want to see the home. The way homes are going, as fast as they're going, they can see online, this house is up and now it's gone. I love this home and now it's gone. It's pending. It's not available. Wait a minute. So they are kind of probably seeing that speed. So if they're calling or reaching out, raising their hand saying, hey, I'm interested, they probably want to see the property. Now, depending on where they're at, if they just had the idea, okay, so as an agent, when you talk to them, you got to figure out where they are. So are they just having the idea of, I want to move? Or are they, that's kind of like a one? Or are they a 10 where they're like, hey, I'm ready to go, right? So you got to see where they're at. So, again, we do that by a consultation. But you can't do the same consultation as you would with um, with a referral, right? Because you don't have the same relationship. Okay, here's something to remember, and this sounds a little bit harsh, but it's true. And if you, I mean, if you don't know, you need to know. Most people looking online at houses, they don't want you. They don't want you. They want a house. They have to. You're the go-between with the houses. They don't have a license. They can't just go and open the lockbox. They're not licensed by state, that you're in to do that. So they're reaching out to you because they want to get in that house, right? So what you have to do is, I call it give and take. You have to give them some information and take some information. And this is actually going to help them, and it's going to help you win them as a client. So if you just ask them, hey, are you pre-approved? Blah, 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 right off before they're going to say, hey, I want to see this house. And you say, hey, are you pre-approved? You want to see it? They might say yes, they might say no, or they might be offended, like, wow, I don't even know your name yet. You're asking me about my finances, right? So do some give and take. Okay, this is big. So what you want to do is ask, kind of get a little information about them. Okay, so I see this house is this is this. Okay, it's a 3 bedroom, blah blah blah. Apparently, this is what you like, and you said you want to see it. First off, let me see if this place is still available. Okay, and what I like to do is I like to check and call them back. Now you don't have to do it that way, but that's how I like to do it. I say, hey, let me call you right back, and then I'll let you know. Why? Well, for one, I'm training that person to take my calls. Save my number. My name is Sean Calhoun. I'm going to call you right back. Lock me in so you answer. Okay? All right, great. Call them back. I got great news. The property is still available. As we know, however, this property, they want pre-approved buyers to take a look at it. Have you been pre-approved already, or were you gonna finance it with cash? Because some people are buying with cash, like really, not just inexpensive homes. That's the time that we normally ask, okay? And then, no, I'm not pre-approved. That's not a big hindrance. How long does it take for a person to get pre-approved?
Depending on if they have all their paperwork, it doesn't take long at all.
It might take 15 to 30 minutes, because what they're going to do is a lender's going to run their credit or blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously, all lenders aren't created equally, but we work with lenders who can do it pretty quick, 15, 30 minutes, okay? So, if you're an agent watching this, you need to make sure that you're working with lenders that are going to service you and answer their phones, so that you can, get that done rather quickly. So I like to have them on standby. They know, they answer their phones, okay? And a lot of times I will call them personally first, and I'll either do a three-way and introduce them, or I'll call them and let them know that someone's going to be calling for them. So, and if they don't answer, I might call somebody else, because we want our clients service. We want to give them the best service possible. So that's the time that we do that, and that's kind of how we do it. I don't know. Anything I missed? What would you throw in there?
No, I mean the earlier the better. Really,
Yeah.
you definitely, if you're a buyer in the market, you want to know what you're able to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
The earlier the better.
Yeah. So again, what comes first? The house, the real estate agent, or the pre-approval? You know, there is really no answer. Normally, the house is going to come first in today's market, and that is the reality. And why? Because that information is the most readily available. You can find available homes. You can see what homes are available pretty quickly. So more than likely, a person's going to see a house first, and then it's going to spark them to want to make a move. So they might see it, and then they might not be ready. So they might get pre-approved, and then it's something really important to know. A lot of agents know this already, but you may not know this. Pre-approval normally lasts about 30 to 90 days.
Yeah.
So, and then you can also lock your interest rate in. So those are some discussions that need to take place. You need to educate your clients on the pre-approval and also on approvals. Like a approval is better than a pre-approval, right? This person has been completely approved for a loan. The only thing we have to do is find a house and lock it in. So the better they are qualified, the stronger terms you have to make an offer on the property. So we can actually get a client not just pre-approved, but fully approved in advance. So the only thing you have to do is plug in that perfect house. So hopefully that covers that. The timing. I mean, there's so many moving parts that goes in around it. If you have any other questions, we love to answer them, but we wanted to get that one in. And we do have, again, some events coming up where we're going to be doing some training. So stay tuned for that and reach in. Do we have a comment there?
We do. Is it okay for an agent to adjust a pre-approval letter to fit an offer being submitted, as long as it's not over the lender's max? That's a great question.
That is a great question. So, Christina, answer that question. This is something that happens every day in the business. So that's a great question.
Yes, it is okay to do that. So let's say your buyer is pre-approved for $200,000, but they find a place that's $150,000. There might be some competition. They might not want to show all their cards, right? If their offer is going to be $160, then you can ask the lender to change that $200,000 pre-approval to $160, so that it keeps everybody aware of what they're approved for. But you also don't want to show that you could go higher, because sometimes a seller will want to counter. Well, I want to counter whatever their max is.
Exactly.
To see if they really want the property, or we have all this other competition. So in that sense, once you've decided on what your offer is, it is a good idea to have that drawn up that way.
Yeah, that's an excellent question, because it basically is what you said. It's not showing your hand, right? So if you think about it, if you're playing cards and you're showing your hands to everybody, normally who's going to win? Not you, right? So it's the same kind of concept with the approval or pre-approval. If you're going to send an offer, you may not want to do that. Now, that is not a hard and fast rule. There are some times where you would want to do it. I mean, sometimes it may be after hours and the lender is not available, and you have a deadline to get that offer in. You may not be able to make that adjustment in that. And there's some other instances as well. But overall, if you have the opportunity, you want to tailor it in for that property and send it through.
Yep. And something to be aware of, a question that came up is, should I, as a buyer, shop around with multiple lenders for the best rate?
Oh, that's a great question. Wow. Yeah. So, yes and no. You can, but there's a way to do it. Okay. Here's the way not to do it. You don't call a bunch of lenders and give them all your social security number because they're going to pull credit every time. And when they pull credit, it shows up as an inquiry. Okay. And it's okay to have an inquiry for a mortgage and get a pre-approval. That's okay. It's not going to necessarily take your credit score down. However, in a short period of time, if you have another uh, company pull credit and another company pull credit, and I'm trying to get the best rate, the credit bureaus, the way they work is they're going to start taking your credit score down. And I'm talking about 15 points, 10 points, 20 points at a time. It's going to drop. And I've read a bunch of stuff online that says that doesn't happen, but it does happen. Like we do this every day, and we have had clients to do that, and that can happen, and it does happen. So if you want to shop, there's a way to shop. How should they shop?
Well, not approving a credit pull every time.
There we go.
Yeah.
You can see what your credit score is yourself, right? So your credit score, you're going to get 3 credit scores, right, from the 3 major credit bureaus. And then from those 3, they're gonna add them up, divide them by 3, you get an average. The median price is going to be your credit score. So when you call, you can give that. They're going to need your credit score, right? And then they're going to need your income. Okay? So you can give your credit score, they're going to need your income, and then the third major factor is your debt to income ratio. So they're going to want to know your debt. What are your bills? Like, what do you have going out? And the things that they're looking for as far as bills are things that show up on your credit report. Okay, we're not talking about your light bills and things like that. We're talking about credit cards, mortgages, car payments, anything that will show up on your credit card. So those are the 3 things you need to know. If you know those, you can actually give that information to shop around. And when you're happy, then you can let them pull your credit. All right?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent question that does come up around this pre-approval. All right, well, that's it for today. There's so much we could go into, lots more training. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for the questions and the live questions. We hope we've provided some value for you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, 1 o'clock, right here on Facebook. Was there anything else on there?
Nope, just a thank you from Kelly.
All right, you're so welcome. We look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, take care.